What's up, castaways? This is Miles Away. Welcome back to another video. So today I am so stoked because this amazing pedal is now a plugin you can use inside your DAW. Now, I've had the Big Sky for quite a long time now, and I have to say it's made it onto almost every single one of my records. It's one of the classic big box reverbs where almost every single sound you get out of it is studio quality and truly spectacular. So when Strymon announced that they were taking this absolutely beloved pedal and turning it into a plugin for everyone to use inside their DAWs, I was beyond stoked. So let's jump inside Logic and check out how the Big Sky plugin sounds so you guys can see what it's like to have a studio quality reverb pedal inside your laptop. All right, so here we are inside Logic. The sound we're gonna be using today sounds like this. And now with the Big Sky enabled. Absolutely beautiful sounding. Now, this is the cloud algorithm, and we'll go through a lot of my favorite algorithms, but right off the bat, this particular preset and sound has made it in pedal form onto so many of my songs, and it sounds, let me tell you, identical to the pedal, this plugin. So awesome. So the controls are really straightforward, which is great. I actually like the controls set up more in plugin form than on the pedal because there's no menu diving. Everything changes per algorithm and you can see exactly what you have access to here. So let's jump through some of my favorite sounds and we can kind of hear how they affect this same basic tone. So right off the bat, the plate algorithm is absolutely lovely on the Big Sky. We have access to a small or a large. So let's add in some pre-delay, maybe make the tone a bit brighter, add some more modulation, and keep it neutral for the roll-off. So that sounds like this. Oh man, so lush. Let's check out the small plate. Bring the decay down a little bit. Just a really great studio quality plate reverb. I use that one on vocals a lot. So yeah, we've got access to a studio quality plate reverb there, which is great. The next one here I want to check out is swell, which is fantastic for ambience. So what that's going to do is we can either use it on wet mode, where we're going to actually do a volume swell and it's going to slowly fade in our reverb sound, which is going to sound like this if I put it on 100% mix. Absolutely beautiful. Now, what else is really cool with this one is they've also included from the pedal, of course, because it's one-to-one, the dry mode, which is usually used on guitars to actually swell the dry signal, but I find it works really well on synths too. So if I put it 100% dry, and then we'll bypass the plugin just so you can hear my sound again, the notes have a bit of an attack. It's a pluck, right? So if I turn on the dry mode, this is what it's going to sound like. Right? It actually creates a volume swell for you. So you can take, if you have like samples of piano or some kind of instrument with a transient, you can basically create a volume swell out of anything. So if we mix in the wet reverb, beautiful. The next one I want to show you guys is called Choral, and this is a really unique sound that I haven't heard on any other plugin or pedal before. It actually allows us to add vowel sounds into our reverb. This is a really usable and kind of weird, quirky reverb sound, but it actually has a lot more uses than one might think. So this sounds like this. Really beautiful and ethereal, right? And we can change the vowels. So we're on oo right now. Let's change it to ah. Like, wow, how cool is that? Let's try a couple more of them. Let's go to random. Lovely. And then the last one we'll go to ah, ooh. Can adjust the tone, make it brighter, adjust the modulation, adjust the pre-delay. Just simply gorgeous. The next mode I want to show you guys is called Shimmer. This is a really cool one, and it's one of the most usable shimmers because of the level of control we get. We actually get 2 independent pitch shifts. So a classic sound using Shimmer will be 1 octave down and 1 octave up with just input. So what that's going to do, or sorry, just regen rather. So what that's going to do is it's going to create a separate octave below and above the sound with reverb to create a totally lush pad out of a single note we play. Massive. Similarly, if I bring the octave down shift and put it to 2 octaves above, let's get rid of that, we can get really nice kind of high up pad sounds, especially if we roll off the tone. I love this sound. I think I've mentioned before, I'm not always the biggest fan of shimmer reverbs, but the Strymon shimmers on both the Big Sky and the Blue Sky are some of my favorites. Let's roll off the tone a bit. Beautiful. And the final cool feature of Shimmer here is if we go to input plus regen, it's actually going to create a feedback loop, which will make the shimmer go on and on and on in a really cool and musical way. Love it. Next up, we looked at this one at the beginning, but the cloud algorithm is absolutely one of my favorites. I think it's my favorite thing about this pedal. This is a absolutely beautiful 70s style diffusion based reverb where it's actually again, I might not be getting the mechanics perfectly right, but it's a very much like a cluster of little delays that form a cloud. And then as you increase diffusion, they smear around and create this absolutely massive ethereal reverb cloud that just floats behind your playing. I use this sound on practically every record. It's my go-to for creating ambience. Shape the tone a little bit, make it a bit brighter. This one really benefits from high modulation. It doesn't get too crazy. And then let's increase the diffusion, make it nice and smooth. Reduce the low end a little bit. Absolutely gorgeous. Moving on to the last algorithm I'm going to talk about, and bear in mind, there's tons more great algorithms here that I haven't even covered. I want to talk about the nonlinear algorithm because I think this is one of the most unique ones as well. So nonlinear creates all sorts of weird sort of textural reverbs that don't typically follow the standard slow decaying room sound that you can hear. Probably the easiest way to hear this and understand this is with the reverse reverb algorithm, which is great and absolutely lovely to have as a plugin inside your DAW. Beautiful. I love these nonlinear reverbs for creating kind of cool, modern, trendy sounds to go along with a bit more of a modern synth sound. Let's try out some of the other shapes. So bounce is really cool. This is a neat one. The reverb sort of bounces away almost like it has an LFO attached. Goss is really interesting too. A bit more smeary, but still nonlinear. Oops, change it there to swoosh. Didn't mean to do that, but let's check out swoosh. Let's mess with the time a little bit, make it nice and short. And get some really cool like rhythmic ideas out of this. Like if we turn up mod and turn the time way down. Maybe not quite that low. This is a really great one for sound design because we get all these different parameters like more diffusion. We can change the decay, the level, the mod speed. It's really, really cool, this nonlinear one. Awesome, and that's going to go through all of the algorithms I'm going to show today. But again, like I mentioned, there's so many more great ones to check out. Bloom, Hall, Spring, all of these reverb algorithms sound absolutely amazing, and you're really getting studio quality reverb inside your DAW. Alright, so I'll keep this one short and sweet for the outro. This reverb plugin sounds amazing. I already run the BigSky pedal as a send from Logic through my interface, and this makes things 10 times simpler. The only con I can think of is the price. At $200, that's quite steep for a reverb plugin, or really any plugin in general. But you are getting pretty much identically the same experience as you would with the actual hardware pedal, only you can use it as many times as your CPU will allow. So that's a huge plus. At the end of the day, only you guys are going to be able to decide if that price tag makes sense for you. But for me, I know this is pretty much going to be my de facto new reverb plugin from now on all of my Miles Away projects. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video and have a great day.